And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll be looking to make this a two-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Now a shotgun snap as they look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
He'll look to throw. His pass caught at the 4. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up first and goal now.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
And they'll turn to a power game to try to get in. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. It's the fullback, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And he'll bang that one through. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Looking for Sanders here on the deep, and that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. They give him a gain of 37. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Here's Booker on the catch. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Zone. Hey, check 26.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Throwing right side, that's complete. Demaryius Thomas. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. And again, it's Rodgers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Rodgers to throw once more. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he's brought down after a good gain. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt,
find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was...
And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Broncos have cut it to within a score. And they wasted no time right down near the goal line, and they just sneak it in.
Just do what you need to do. Big guys going up front, have the field general, the leader, just fall in behind him.
McManus's point after is good, and that'll make our score 14-7. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 48-yard line. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football, and they've got it here with a first down. A give. This is Cook. Oh, good move. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Brandon Marshall. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Well, this is one of the downsides of being a rookie quarterback. You know you're going to get called out about everything you do that goes wrong. Here, maybe he's a little uncertain about where to go with the football. And at this level, uncertainty equals turnovers. And this one winds up being intercepted.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Going right side here, and that's complete. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. He dumps it down to Ingram. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. Rodgers now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. He goes underneath to Ingram. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It's a gain of 7, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. Rodgers again now. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Emmanuel Sanders, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the football game. And oh, he missed it. No good. And they'll remain down by a point. So we're back to a one-point game now as the kickoff comes. And you combine a big leg with a mile-high air, there's the outcome. This will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish.
He rifles one that's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick six. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
You mean with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily to look at your plays.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 44 yards. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory. Down at the 31. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Darian Stewart there to bring him down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Back to the ground, this time Cook. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. That one complete to Anderson. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
He's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. Back to Denver right after this. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. They'll run for it with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And coming out now, the Broncos. A first carry now for Kofrani Muhammad. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. First down now, but that clock rolling.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
This quarterback now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now Cook. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. On 2nd down, Cook. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Detroit!
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Will Tye with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the 2nd half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Zoom. Hey, check 26. Yeah, Liz. Yeah, Liz.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Hey, check 26. Hey, check 26.
To throw again, Rodgers. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Here's Jackson. Quick feet by Jackson. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times, it's just in a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter. Now, before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there, a drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. They'll drop to throw. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So on 4th down, here's Ryan Quigley now to kick this one away. Back deep for the Broncos is Isaiah McKenzie. He'll field this at the 5. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
Box it, box it, box it. We are going.
On the carry, it's Muhammad. And an alley to run. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Rodgers to throw on second down. He almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Now they'll run it on the toss. He's got the first down and more past the 40. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. That good for 22 and a first down.
Well, that's one of the main responsibilities of a safety in any defense. A long way downfield before he's able to corral him, but that's why you have him on the field, the last line of defense.
He made the play. I don't know if it'll be remembered. They're probably so mad that the run went for that long.
Wonder if they were thinking pass in that situation as opposed to run and being caught a little bit out of position. Fortunately, he's able to track him down.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
On second down, Ingram. He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
They'll try to run for the first with Ingram. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Now, a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Rodgers throwing again. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Ben Gideon. In from his linebacker's spot, he's able to drop him for a loss of about 10. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. Wide open receiver complete. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
26.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And this one will be brought back to the 22. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long, he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. That he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They run it again with Cook. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's got Will Tye complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. This quarterback now 12 of 15 throwing the ball. 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On play action, they'll throw. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Von Miller able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Here's Ryan Quigley now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. That's taken on the 25. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. So the Broncos coming out now. And 3 interceptions in this game. I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now?
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And down he'll go at the 25. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
He's going to air one out. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
No, check. Patriot! Patriot! Gun!
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown on the year. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown. Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Anthony Barr in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Now they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. On play action. Now Rodgers. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hodges. And he gets this one up just shy of the 35 to the 34. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Hey, check 26. Zoom.
On first down, Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Danielle Hunter in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off right around the 43. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit.
They go play action here on first down. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. They go back to Murray on first down. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be third down. He'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Now they'll run. Murray. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
This is where coaches have to have spent a lot of time going over situations with their players, because him getting tackled there is not the worst thing in the world. You're going to run more plays, right? Clock's going to go. But his thought process is getting into the end zone. It's counterintuitive for him to actually go down in this spot.
Yeah, but like you say, you don't want to get in the end zone too early here.
No, not at all, because you may leave an opening that could come back and get you.
And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he goes backwards on this one. Losing yardage to the 7. Whistles and a timeout at the 2:05 mark. So this defense wanting to get one more pause in before the 2-minute warning, and they do just that. The kick by Carlson is good. And that will make this now a 19-point advantage. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down. But don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this.
Yep. Hey, check 26. Find out. You got 58.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Everson Griffin in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. From the gun, it's Rodgers. He's going to let it fly. And now here is another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. And the clock will roll down to zeros. 4 weeks in, 4-0. I don't think anybody needs to alert the 72 Dolphins just yet, but great start to the season.
Great start. How about taking a knee at the end? And there's no better feeling for a team than to do that, to close out a victory. But you're right, at 4-0, they're sending a message to the rest of the league. They're going to be tough to deal with.
Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for Minnesota, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new